You ready for the video?
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Let's kill it.
Woo. There we go. I like that energy.
Yeah.
What is vibing? This is Vish, and today we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
how can we bring peace between India and Pakistan?
do you ever find yourself stressed, anxious, or nervous? Well, that used to be me all the time. And then I found meditation, and not only did I get out of it, I'm now guiding over hundreds of people on their meditation journeys. I will be soon coming up with a cool product that will help you with your meditation journeys as well. So stay tuned for that. And today, I'm here with Hibah. Want to introduce yourself?
So I'm Hibah and I study at the University of Texas at Austin. I'm Pakistani. I know Vish is Indian, so this video should be interesting. In Pakistan, from Lahore and Rawalpindi, born and brought up in Houston though, but if you're from those areas, shout out.
There you go.
I'm a sophomore and I'm studying biochemistry, so send prayers, please.
And we actually met in a chemistry class, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we were studying for a chemistry test, and those were definitely good days. And
Yeah.
now I'm about to graduate soon. Like
Pre-COVID days.
Yeah, pre-COVID
Wow.
days. So the world's truly changing. Sadhguru's a yogi, mystic, and visionary who's truly enlightening the world. And with that,
Let's get into the video.
This happened in 2007 or 8. I was at Davos. This is Pakistani breakfast. General Musharraf was speaking. The hall was packed. Everybody wanted to hear what he's going to talk. I also got invited, I went. And he spoke and spoke and spoke. People are looking at, these are all business people, they're looking at, okay, what are your economic policies? Can we do business in your country or no? That's all they want to know.
Wow.
But this man went on saying how he knows how he's a great leader and how his leadership did this and that, and he was giving leadership lessons to everybody. Every one of them is a
Free
leader by
lessons.
himself. But he was giving leadership lessons, and the whole time, 2-hour time, he spent
Wow.
1.5 hours. And then there was no time left, so he said only one question. This was supposed to be an interactive session, but he did all the talking. Then I raised my hand. Because I had already met him previously, he said, okay, you. So I stood up and asked him, see, right now India and Pakistan, both of them, we are actually not developed countries. We like to call ourselves developing, because we're developing for too long. Forever if you're developing, you're not a developing country, okay? If you're developing somewhere, you must become developed.
True.
I said, this is happening for too long. The reason is, one major reason is, both the nations are spending enormous amount of money on this defense and nonsense. If India and Pakistan had known these issues, both the countries probably would have prospered
wish.
by now. But somehow we couldn't keep that nonsense down, we fought all these years. Just 3 wars are not the thing. Preparing for the war is a horribly expensive process.
true.
Right.
I said, see, you don't expect the religious leaders in your country, in our country, to come to any agreement. It's waste of time doing all these interfaith meetings and things. Anyway, they will pretend and go home and they will preach their own thing, okay? Two military leaders cannot agree because we are pointing guns at each other, we are trained to shoot. Political leaders cannot agree because that will make them lose elections. But a business person has no issue. If there is a good deal in Pakistan, every Indian businessman will go and do deals in Pakistan.
Exactly.
If there is a bridge to be built, for a $1 million bridge, they're offering $2 million, half of Hyderabad will go there. So I said, see, the first thing is, let's open up the business. If you open up the business, if daily transactions are happening, my
Smart.
people are on that side, your people on this side, my money there, your money here, I wouldn't want to bomb your country, you wouldn't want to bomb my
True.
country.
Yeah.
Gladly that's beginning to happen now, this transaction, business relationship in India and Pakistan.
Because national borders will go away, that is very important. On the longer run, it is very important national borders get diluted. That is when armies will come down. That is when the potential of fighting on the planet will go down. That is when development will happen indiscriminately, according to capability, not according to national identity, isn't it?
Yes.
So this transaction should happen. And just previous day he was talking about how he's for peace and how he's looking for this and that, looking for support and money, but he forgot all that and he burst out. He said, "How can we do business?
Oh.
You know, my dear friend," somebody mentioned name, "he died in my arms in the war. I named my son after him because of that. We have spilled blood, we have lost people. How can we do business? We cannot do business." International press was amazed that this man just came out and said, "We cannot do business with each other," being the head of a nation. But if we started doing business, don't do any of these… all these parlays which are very expensive, politicians meeting, anyway it's a foregone conclusion, it's not going to go anywhere. Do business, as much business as possible. You will see people will forget who the hell is a Pakistani, who's an Indian.
Wow, that was a very interesting video.
Very.
And beautiful as always. What'd you think, Hibah?
I'm actually very amazed. I never actually thought about the business side of what Pakistan and India can do, but I think they do have a lot to offer each other, and it's a very smart way to get other people on the other side, so to speak. So it's also interesting to see how much just politics play into everything, because even if they wanted peace, sometimes it's like, I think if we could get these business transactions to run, then the likeliness of war happening would decrease, just because now you have your people on the other side, and your business, it means you have to create deals, and you have to be friendly, and you have to use your connections. So really, India and Pakistan would become connected instead of so divided. As a Muslim Pakistani, I actually do have a lot of Indian friends like Vish, and I also know a lot of Indian Muslims, so it's very possible for that bridge and connect to happen, because I know Pakistan is a very Muslim country and then India is a very Hindu country, but I feel like people can live together, people can live in peace, and I want to see this business idea go through. I think it'll fix a lot of problems.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that
Of course.
perspective. And I actually very much enjoyed it as well, as you mentioned. Growing up, I mean, there's always this kind of bias coming from like an Indian background against, you know, Muslim or Pakistanis, and I'm sure maybe likewise. It's important to be open about that, right? We can't hide and be like, oh yeah, no, we love each other, and my parents love each other, but like, it's not realistic. It's important to first open up the floor to how people actually feel, and then show them how, with videos like this, you don't have to feel that way, because business is the way to go, right? And so there's no need to put your feelings in the closet. Open them out, but then come to the reality check of what is practical, what will be inclusive. We are all at the end human, and so we are literally one race. We must all naturally be kind to each other. There's actually the sage, his name is Ramana Maharshi. He was asked, how do you treat others? And he beautifully responded by just saying, there is no other.
Oh, wow.
Very simple, but very profound. We are all literally one. And so I really like this perspective that Sadhguru put into light. Honestly, if I could see someone like Sadhguru with this kind of spiritual wisdom background entering politics, that'd be amazing. Because people in politics are so self-centered and all corruption-based, at least, you know, from what I've seen in all these different countries. No country is excused, at least from what I've seen. So when this kind of wisdom perspective comes into place, it will naturally open up clarity and really just conscious awareness as to what should be done, right? And there's no bias involved, and it puts the emotions aside. And it's just more on the practical. What will work, what will not work. And it's actually a cool thing that Sadhguru himself has developed. It's called engineering. It's a program. And it's literally all about technology for how to engineer your inside self.
Oh, wow.
And engineer your well-being. Whether it's through certain meditations, yogas, and certain things like that. There's no religion associated with it. You can be whatever religion you want and do it. It's literally about engineering your body and your system. And it's really cool because even in that, he says that most engineering projects, for instance, like bridges and so on, you can only call it well-engineered if it's working well, right? The same thing applies to, for example, relationships between countries. Is it engineered well? Is it working or is it not working? It's not about who do you love, who do you hate? Nah, it's, is it working well? And if it's not working well, how can we fix that?
Right.
Very practical. So I really just want to emphasize that whole point, and I really like that business side to it.
Right.
Like you mentioned, if you have people on both sides and business is booming, there's no need to bomb each other, right?
Exactly.
It's all love. And at the end, I think it's very needed, as you mentioned, because both countries are developing. There's very poor people in both countries. So they're the ones that suffer the most, right? Because all that money kind of gets centered around the middle to upper class, and the lower class peoples in both countries just suffer even more. And so by really just focusing on that business aspect and giving people jobs, this will truly allow for just peace and prosperity.
Right. In both nations. I mean, it's a win-win.
Exactly.
We just now got to get politics on board.
Exactly. Not easy, but it will start with you. At the end, it's all about you just realizing this. And again, I don't care if you're Muslim, I don't care if you're Hindu, I don't care what your background is. I just care about you being a human being. So that is the main view that I have on every individual. And it goes to show, I mean, all the people you've probably seen on my channel, I have different background friends. It's all about the connection at the end. And I'm very grateful for you sharing all that experience.
As a Muslim, we greet others by saying Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be upon you. We're literally offering peace no matter where you come from or who you are. That's just within our greeting. So I think if we can just have this transaction of peace every time people link or meet, like new people, old people, I think that we'll have a world and a nation that is a lot better to live in.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
Would love to hear what you've learned from this video in the comments down below. And if any other video requests, also comment that down below. And with that, make a great day, take it joyful, and stay conscious. Awesome.
Hey, that's a wrap. What is it?
I honestly have no clue. But
dude, when the product comes out, you have to put that blooper in there.
For sure.